Howdy y'all, welcome back to my RV-14A build here down in Austin, Texas. So, I'm still building. This video is actually starting to get stale because I've been so busy. Haven't been able to do any voiceovers or editing on it to try to cut it down somewhat. But this is just me working on getting in the CS 00001 and 2 and 3 elevator control bars put together. I'm putting the control ends on it. The plans have you prime the inside and outside of these tubes, which, as you can see here, just makes it a bear to get the ends in. And so actually I had to end up where the two pieces interface, having to remove the primer on them. The other thing I found was that using a Sharpie to just mark to keep everything in line, I lost the Sharpie mark and all the priming. I was smart enough that I kept all the ends arranged with the appropriate tubes, but not the alignment. So you might look at maybe putting a small dimple on the end of each parts to keep your alignment points through the priming process. Or you can do as I did here, which was I kind of just kept rotating the parts until I got the right alignment. You only have 6 choices. So not horrible, but does just add a little bit of more timing. So yeah, if you can dimple the parts before you prime them, that might work better. Just a thought. I got through it. Now here I switched over now to getting ready to rivet in the control ends. And I was lazy, didn't feel like squeezing it, so we got out my pneumatic rivet device here for the pop rivets. Just because I didn't feel like going and squeezing. Why do it when you have a nice little pneumatic tool that makes things easy? One thing I did do here, which I was a bonehead, didn't quite have the right tip on there, so I did have to switch the tip out. It still worked, but it was jamming up, which is kind of why I'm fussing with the device there. That I didn't gauge out or didn't put on the right tip. So work that through. Here, switching out the part here. And obviously the tool works much better when it's set up correctly. So just work through both ends. Currently I'm working on getting the roll bar ready. I did not film putting in the controls, just for the fair point of that you couldn't really see what I was doing. So I didn't think that would be particularly useful information. I am thinking about maybe making a video on how I got the washer stack going in there. There's a particular little washer that I think in the forums they called it Devil's Washer, because man, it wants to drop. Especially with the plane like this, it wants to drop through a hole in the floor and out and roll away and be lost forever. And Vans only gives you like 4 or 6 in the kit, and all 6 are dedicated. It's a 24-cent part, not a big deal. It's the $15 minimum shipping cost. That sucks. So a 24-cent part can cost you $15 if that's the only thing you order. So I ordered a new washer to make up for the one I lost. Ordered some extras in case I lose more, and then I ordered a shirt. I mean, if you're gonna have to pay $15, you might as well make your $15, worth it. It's just unfortunate when you lose a little part like that you need, and it's holding up your build. You almost want to suck it up and pay the whole $15 but anyway, kind of annoying. Got everything riveted, and now I'm putting together the idler here. Which again, the idler is pretty straightforward. Just some bolts through it, and then torqued all together. I did get the torque right. When I bolted the idler to the support plate bracket there. Make sure you loosely put in the bolts first before you tighten any down. I tightened like the first few down, and then things weren't lining up. Loosened it, and it all went together great. But that's the idler arm that goes into the back of the empennage that connects you between the 002 and 3. So, it's about, it goes into, and you'll see here shortly, goes about a third of the way through. And if you have your plane set on its side like this, it's fairly easy to bolt in to the back. So I'd reread my instructions, and I missed that I forgot to re-drill the number 12 holes. So I just went through, drilled them, and then deburred them. Not a big deal. You can do it before or after it's assembled. But I always try to reread and read each step multiple times. It's helped me prevent a lot of errors. Because earlier on in the build, I wasn't very good about reading, rereading the step and verifying that I did everything it asked. So here I'm getting all my parts together to start getting the control rods into the airplane. And then I'll move around to the other side. So here, like I said, put the bolts in. Don't tighten them up down. Just put them in finger tight and then tighten them. So screw. So yeah, so just bolting it all together, the nut plates that they had you rivet on. Pretty straightforward. So there you can see I'm sort of fighting getting that nut in because I had tightened down all the others. This was one of my bonehead mistakes. Like, put it in loosely and then tighten down all your bolts. So go back, loosen everything. And then lo and behold, everything fits. So this is one of those spots where you have washers on the outside of the flanges and washers inside of the flanges between the bearing. So there's two ways to deal with these things. Well, three. One, be very frustrated. Two, is get a set of washer nut wrenches. And the third, which I used down in the plane, was to actually dental floss, or even better would be some fishing line. I didn't have any fishing line, but if you basically fish the line through the bearing, through each of the washers, and then up through the internal flange, pull it straight, stick through a hex wrench, pull out your string, feed your bolt while pushing the hex wrench out, or screwdriver. That works to prevent dropping the washers. And like I said, I may make some sort of video kind of show what I'm talking about there. But yeah, it's basically, if you use a piece of string, you can prevent yourself dropping and simplify the assembly of those difficult little joints. If you'd like to see something about that, post it in the doobly-doo. So here I am bolting that idler into the back. There's already some nut plates that you put together when you're building your empennage. So that now it comes together. Very simple bolt-in job. You can already see I've got one of the elevator control rods in there on the left near that yellow rag. You can see it poking through the fuselage front panel. Because I had to bolt that out. And I lost the footage of me feeding that with the idler arm in there. So all done. Thanks everybody. Like I said, hopefully next I'll be showing them some roll bar work and getting ready for the canopy and landing gear. So things are really starting to come together. Thanks y'all. Goodbye.